Before I start talking about the brand new Rustor, I'd just like to quickly ask all of you, if you have not yet done so, could you please consider voting for what you consider to be the Ruskin of the Year for 2025? We have 8 finalists. You can see a nice showcase of all of them in this video right here. And of course, the link to vote is listed right here as well. You will need a Gmail account, but considering you're watching me on YouTube, that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just remember, if you're a streamer, it will show your email on the screen. So what could potentially be the Ruskin of the Year for 2025? Could it be Mr. Chickrock, Cena-type firearms, Island Assault Tier 3, Mystic Tree Garage Door? Consider offering your support. What could it be? Well, we'll find out next week. I'll stop counting the votes as of next week, and I will announce the actual winner. So, all right, cool. Now, I am fully well aware it is a bit late, but I have been quite busy today just listing tons of skins. So it's actually 23 hours since the Rustor rotated. I know. I'd also like to point out, in anticipation to yesterday, it was the January Forcewipe. We were expecting a ton of people to turn up, and a ton of people did turn up. We actually peaked at 247,000 people yesterday, and as of now, it looks like we're only going up to about 235 today, which, to be honest with you, yes, it didn't match up to what we saw last year. However, it's just as good, almost as good, and I'm totally fine with that. And let me tell you, the sales I've been seeing with my skins, I'm not complaining, all right? This has been going up ever so nicely. Like, if I could just show you the progress real quickly. So, here you go. Like, I'm not complaining. So, I'll be talking about, like, post-Christmas and whatnot in another video that will be released tomorrow. Let's now focus the skins. So, over to here. The January Forcewipe Rustor for January 2026. And, well, I kind of felt like we were lacking in terms of like core pieces for clothing and armor, but that's basically every Rustor, isn't it? Anyway, 2 interesting doors, another bed skin, quite a lot of weapons, a pair of tools. Well, out of all these skins, what potentially is the best investment for this week? Well, considering we're 23 hours in, and are we fully up to date? Let's just quickly confirm. Yes, we are. They kind of get like a good insight in regards to, well, are these skins, are they going to sell a little bit too much, or are they going to sell too little? And I've got to be honest with you, I am somewhat concerned about those doors. But if you're going to ask me, Hedge, what's the most interesting thing this week? I will have to say Night Demon, Bandana, and Poncho by default. Because if we do see collection continuations, oh, okay, yeah, that's in a very interesting spot. So, of course, let me just quickly point this out to you. Night Demon collection, very successful. What makes you say that? Because every single skin got accepted. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. In fact, Little Ranger is on a roll. All of his, like, cock skins, yeah, I know, I should bring that up. But, like, all of that collection's been accepted. All of his Night Demon collection's been accepted. Like, he is striking it, like, perfect at the moment. So, if we do see burlap clothing, if we do see hide clothing next, this will spike a price ever so nice. So, what do you reckon? Could we see a primitive set now being made? What would you like to prioritize? What would you personally like to see? And it doesn't matter, whatever we see next, it will give that a boost. In fact, like, seeing this seems to have given this a bit of a boost. I'm not sure because the skins were already going up in price regardless, because of course it's post-Christmas, but hey, I welcome it. And if we do see more afterwards, perfect. And now, 23 hours in, looking at the current sales, I could sit here and say, it looks like it's going to barely reach about 10,000 subscribers. Very rough estimate. I can't guarantee that. But at the moment, it looks like that'll be the case, which is a perfectly fine, stable amount of sales. Typically, with the first Rustor of the year, with a lot of people playing, let's just quickly point that out. Yeah, 232,000 at the moment. Basically, you'd expect with a lot of people playing at the moment, a lot of people likely will buy the skins. But in this particular week, it doesn't seem to be super crazy, which is fine. I'm not going to be upset with what I see here. And yeah, the bandana, the poncho, in a very, very, very good spot. So I can't complain. It's all good. And I hope you understand that with the success Little Ranger has had so far, can't help but assume it's going to continue. So if you feel just as confident, keep an eye on this. Because do not forget, every single skin in today's Rustor is abnormal. So that means next Wednesday, we'll be able to chase after all the skins. Super helpful, super handy, awesome. So what also is looking pretty interesting, I've got to sit here and talk about the bed. Now, of course, I do want to bring up how many beds we've seen since it first became skinnable. perhaps too much? Yeah, I think that might be a very straight answer. Very straightforward answer. But anyway, 21 in just 2025. And don't forget, first became Skinnable at the beginning of October. And immediately, with the very first roster for 2026, another bed's accepted. However, at the moment, it's only got 3,000 subscribers. This does not look... It looks like it's going to barely reach 10,000 subscribers. And a lack of sales can easily lead to it potentially rising up in price ever so nice in the future. I'm fully well aware that the skin creator, he has been making more skins in the background. So, Icona, he has also produced a garage door, and recently he's also produced a small box. Now, personally, I want to see an interesting bearskin rug being made, because I think he could pull that off like amazingly. Still asking for it, Mr. Icona, why have you made it? Anyway, so basically, I can't help but assume with its design, it's a very unique, scary, creepy approach, which also glazes up very nicely. I can't help but assume he probably will be getting some more skins accepted, and with its unique approach and whatnot, I think that actually might be working out quite alright. Now, don't forget, if you want to get a good look at all these brand new skins, of course, Mr. Hedge has showcased all the skins in his roster rotation for January 1st, 2026. Everything's chaptered, it's very easy to navigate. And that bed, honestly, it does look pretty cool, alright? So, we'll see what becomes of the collection. Again, it's the very first roster of the year. I have no idea what's going to happen next. But I am aware that Icona, he doesn't really get that many skins accepted, so I would be surprised if he rides that a lot and enjoys it for a while, for a while it lasts. Who knows if it might end up finishing right here and then, or maybe it'll continue over the course of the next few months with more interesting deployable skins. What would you, the viewer, like to see being made next? Feel free to comment below. Right then, so we got that out of the way, but what's also looking to be pretty interesting, I do want to mention the Thundergold MP5, because the first second I saw it, I thought to myself, you know what? If I just take a quick look at all the MP5s that exist, look at the most expensive ones, here we go. You'll notice the white ones are actually doing quite alright. So as you'll notice, Digital Camo came out years ago, so let's not really count that one. But you've got No Mercy here, $6, Comics MP5, $5.50, Quarantine, $3.50, Arctic Skull, $2+. So, alright. Clearly, all the white ones appear to be in demand, appreciated. Even the Twitch drops that we've seen recently, they do get quite a lot of usage as well. With the brand new Thundergold MP5, I'm very much under the impression it's going to probably be alright. If you were to take a quick look at all the MP5s that have been accepted over the past few years, you might notice, oh, hang on a minute, that's not looking very stable, that's looking a bit problematic. But then you also take a look at the Thundergold collection right now, oh, hang on a minute, okay, maybe it won't be so bad. So, of course, we've got an AK47 and a SAR in the positive. How rare is that to see? Pretty rare. SAP's also doing quite alright. Handmade MG isn't down too bad. SMG, which is kind of a surprise to see here, not down too bad either. Double barrel shotgun, not looking too bad either as well. If you've seen a standard custom SMG and a double barrel shotgun skin, you'd realise they go down pretty bad. So honestly, Thundergold's in a pretty good spot. It's also not selling ridiculously either. Now, perhaps it might reach up to, at best, maybe about 15,000 subscribers. I wouldn't be too fussed about that. I'd be perfectly fine with that. So keep an eye on this as well. It's also looking pretty interesting. It doesn't have a special aim sight or anything. It's just a perfectly fine pearlescent white design with a lovely bit of gold trim. And I'm sure a lot of people will be appreciating that, considering that they have been appreciating the Thundergold weapons of the past. So, cool. Right then. What's also looking pretty interesting. So, I guess now I'll talk about the Phantom Tactical Gloves. But I will warn you, I can't help but assume, over the course of 2026, we'll start seeing a lot more tactical gloves. Now, this is just an assumption. But based on the fact that ever since the beds became skinnable, we keep seeing beds being accepted now. Ever since the handmade LMGs became skinnable, we just keep seeing them being introduced and being accepted. And now, tactical gloves, well, what do you reckon? Inevitably, there will be Twitch drops and kick drops in 2026. How many people do you reckon will be getting some tactical glove skins? I'm expecting at least 2, alright? And it could be general drops, don't forget about that. So then, of course, also consider this. How many tactical glove skins have been submitted recently? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So, tactical gloves. Let's search by newest. Now, some of them might be a bit odd, but I can confirm to you, we have been seeing some pretty interesting designs recently. To my surprise, we didn't actually see that many space station skins being accepted this week. I know we saw 2, but I saw an interesting pair of tactical gloves, a lot of interesting weapon skins and whatnot. And by all means, if you get a good look at all those skins that are submitted, like, I'm genuinely surprised we didn't see that rug skin being accepted. But then again, no early picks were accepted this week, so by all means, if you get a good look at all those skins, consider watching my Rust Workshop skin checks. Everything's chaptered, you get the idea. I'm expecting more space station skins next week. Hop it back over to here. Phantom tactical gloves, you do look cool, but I kind of wouldn't be surprised if we see those space themed skins next week. If you know what I mean. And then, of course, over the course of this weekend, I'm expecting more tactical gloves to be produced. And, of course, over the course of this year, in the past, we've seen a lot of very interesting collections being built up. Honestly, wouldn't be surprised if we see tactical gloves, those skins. Like, take, for example, Night Demon. Would you be surprised if we potentially see Night Demon tactical gloves? No. Would you be surprised to be accepted? No. So, yeah, do you understand what I'm trying to get across? There will be more options. And I kind of wouldn't be surprised if this gets lost in the shuffle. Now, if you take a look at the recent Phantom skins that have been accepted, because of, in the past, Tier 2 was, accepted back in 2019. Hoodie and Pants were accepted in 2020. Tier 3 was accepted in 2021. Now, for a very long time, this wasn't doing very well because it sold far too much in comparison to the Tier 2 and the Hoodie and Pants. Only now is it starting to recover. Boots, not exactly doing super great either. Backpack, not too bad. But tactical gloves, you look like you're going to probably only sell for about, it's going to probably only reach about 10,000 subscribers, maybe. Solid guess. It looks like it would match up quite nicely with the rest of skins here. In comparison, look at the Phantom road sign gloves. The first ever road sign glove skins to be accepted back in 2021. 20,000 subscribers, down 71%. Ooh. So, yeah, interesting. Anyway, keep an eye on it. You never know. We might see like a Phantom jacket or something. That could probably give it a bit of a boost. It's interesting, but there's also the possibility of a lot more tactical glove skins. So we'll leave it for now. But by all means, if you like it, buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated, keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future, alright? We keep seeing a Phantom skin being accepted here and there, alright? I wouldn't be surprised if we do potentially see a few more. So, Shedmon, Snow Jacket, regular jacket, pretty please. Right, anyway, moving on. So looking at all the other skins, it's getting a bit awkward now, but I think Deep Ruby Thompson probably is a good shout. Now, can I just quickly point out, Deep Ruby collection's actually climbing up quite nicely. The AK47 back up into it. It's reached its Rust price again. Like, for a very long time, that was struggling. It's got a very unique approach. It's got a very interesting amethyst coloured design. And, yeah, for a very long time, it was not doing very well. So let's just quickly remind you, it was accepted back in early 2025. It dropped down immediately. It went all the way down to slightly above $1. But as time went on, slowly, little by little, bit by bit, it rises all the way back up to its Rust price again. And I'm very happy to see that. Based on what I'm looking at here, a skin that sold almost 30,000 subscribers, I can't help but assume that Thompson probably will be doing quite all right. Now, again, maybe it might take a while for that to eventually happen, probably. But Thompsons in general, whilst they're not like picture perfect, whilst they're not always positive, I guess you could say, up in price a lot is what I should say, just to clarify. Majority of them do seem to work out quite right, especially when times are good. I mean, most of them-ish. Okay, anyway, what I'm talking about is that this is unique in comparison to all the other skins I see here. It stands out, it's unique, it's got a perfectly fine red aim sight. I honestly won't be surprised as time goes on that it will work out. That is my estimate, my expectation. But will I still see it drop down in price? Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Deep Ruby collection has been a bit of a funny one. As you'll see here, the skins aren't exactly doing super great here, but then some of them are doing quite all right. It's odd. I've heard a lot of people sit there and say they don't happen to like it, and they were quite vocal initially when we were seeing all those skins being accepted initially. But I don't really hear them as much anymore. Perhaps people do happen to like dressing up as a giant eggplant. So, alright, anyway, keep an eye on it. I do believe that could work out quite nicely. Now, give it time. Perhaps this could also work out alright, maybe, perhaps. At $3.49 though, Hellcore AK47, I did question you. But also, it does have a nice black and white design. It's got an interesting, unique approach, but it is still selling quite a bit, and I kind of wouldn't be surprised if that potentially reaches around 20,000 subscribers. Again, solid estimate. But what I also have to mention is that all the blackout alternatives, I guess you could say, all of their AK-47s have been doing quite nicely as of recent. So if I could just look at all the AK-47s that are actually in the positive, and funnily enough, right, it's not even marketable at the moment, but at $3.49, it's one of the top highest priced AK-47s that you see right here. Oh dear. Yeah, okay. That probably really does set the tone very nicely. That right there, 1, 2, 3, that's the 10th best performing AK-47, and it's not actually yet marketable. Okay, well, there you go. But anyway, look at this. Black Diamond AK-47, Ninja AK-47, Black Ops AK-47, Commando AK-47, like all of the Blackout Alternative collections, which did get an AK-47, suddenly they're back up into the positive. Oh. So, okay. I could envision that there might be some problems with this. I honestly wouldn't be surprised. But a high price doesn't necessarily mean it's doomed. Again, look back over to here. You'll notice that the Black Diamond AK-47 sold for $4.49. It did 17,000 subscribers. People did appreciate the collection, and as you'll see here, it's actually doing very nicely at the moment. All right. Now, you also might question, oh no, it might sell a little bit too much. Take a look at the Ninja AK-47. That sold at $2.49. It did almost 45,000 subscribers, and yet it's in the positive. People do appreciate a nice, good-looking black AK-47, so will it still drop down in price initially as we go steer towards the Easter dip that usually happens around March and April? Honestly, wouldn't be surprised. And you know what? Over to here. Black Diamond AK-47, a higher priced AK-47 is probably the best thing to learn from. So get a good look at this. Look at sales history. Did it initially drop? Yes, it did. So it comes out, goes all the way down to like $3. Kind of just sits there for a while, drops down initially again, so at its lowest, it's about $3. But as time went on, it's had some highs, and recently, with the autumn-fall seasonal dip, it had some lows again. But it doesn't look like it went down below $3. If the skin looks nice and is appreciated, it won't crash and burn. So hopping back over to here. Opinions, please. What do you reckon? Do you like the Hellcore AK-47? Do you like its design? Would you like to see like a weapon collection being built out from it? Offer your opinions, please. I will sit there and say I do expect it to drop off initially. I don't know how low it's going to go, but I could envision, didn't mean to do that, I could envision it working out quite all right in the future, all right? But it might take until the summer or next year's post-Christmas for it to go back up in the positive again. So, yeah, right, understood, all good. So, looking at the remaining skins, I will talk about the tempered handmade LMG. Tempered collection is somewhat beloved. But I should point out, when you look at the weapons and the tools, it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit funny. It's not exactly like the best. And then, as we mentioned a little bit earlier, with these brand new Skinnables, we are noticing more and more and more and more of them being accepted. So, do you honestly believe we'll probably see hardly any handmade LMGs? Of course not. We're going to see Twitch drops, kick drops. We're going to see transparent aim sights and whatnot. Because, yeah, I should mention this. This does not have a transparent aim sight. That might be a bit of a problem because, of course, recently we did see 2 for some Christmas skins with transparent aim sights. They also sold like next to nothing. You've already matched up to the sales we've seen here. You've got another 6 days to go. Uh-oh. So, by all means, if you like the design and you bought it because of that, that's fine. You bought something for yourself. It's not an investment. Enjoy it. But if you're to ask me, hey, is that going to retain its value? We'll see how many more handmade LMGs get accepted in 2026. I'm a little bit cautious. And I'm very grateful that all the skins this week are abnormal because I probably will just be sticking with a barter on this, all right? Looks nice, looks cool, but again, what happens if we see like 30 handmade LMGs this year? Do you honestly think they'll retain its value? I haven't even mentioned how much it likely might sell, but even then. So, okay, cool. We'll keep an eye on that. At the moment, it probably will be reaching just over 10,000 subscribers. Right then, so I should also talk about the tools. So we'll just take one quick look at all the hatchet skins that came out recently. Okay, there you go. So all right, so that's down by 60. That's only down by 4. That's not doing too bad. That's down by 61, down by 25, down by 42. I think I've made my point. The vast majority of hatchets go down in price pretty badly. That's been manipulated still. $50, well, but yes, been manipulated. And then you take a look at all the pickaxe skins. And what do we see? Well, okay, you're doing quite all right. Down 18, down 37, down 52, down 55, down 29, down 53, down 47, down 33, down 54. You get the point. So, yeah. Most tools end up going down to around back to like $1. However, Abyss Collection, let's talk about you, because as of recent, your skins have been improving very, very nicely. This is an in-demand collection. And to my surprise, even the tier 3's gone back up into the positive, which quite surprising, especially considering the amount of sales it did in comparison to the hoodie and pants in the tier 2 and the boots and gloves. Anyway, the weapons, well, to be honest with you, that's not too bad for an LR300 and a SAR. And then you got some in the positive. It's not looking too bad. Like, overall, you can clearly say, like, you can clearly see and clearly say that this is mostly doing pretty good. Could we see the tools be an anomaly and actually work out quite nicely in the future? I should also clarify, these aren't selling that much. They don't look like they're going to reach 10,000 subscribers. They look like they're going to sell not too much. And, well, I should also point out, we keep seeing Abyss skins being added. Like, I should also clarify, these were submitted 10 months ago. Do you see that? 10 months, 10 months. Even the Thompson, right? Face Punch clearly likes the Abyss collection, if they're going to keep bringing it back. All right? Again, I should point out, made by Little Ranger. So, yeah, no, he's quite successful, along with Grand Crowan. So, keep an eye on it, and if we do keep seeing more Abyss skins being accepted, I mean, it honestly might be a pretty interesting thing to approach. What do you reckon? Feel free to comment below, but don't be surprised if it still drops off. And now, I'm going to save both the doors for last. Now, at the very least, space-based armoured door. This has a transparent hatch. And we don't have that many armoured doors with a transparent hatch. We have Bombshell. I believe we've had a Twitch drop. Cool, here we go. I've got to remember all of these now. Didn't Restoria have a transparent aim? Anyway, the point I'm trying to get across is... oh, there you go. Brutalist was also one of them, of course. That's in the positive. That's in the negative, but it's got a pretty stupid reason as to why. So they glow, they have transparency, and they are appreciated. And, well, we've got another one now. But I did mention this when I was looking at the skins in the Rust rotation video. Like, is the space station building skin popular? Is it something you're going to always want to use? I'm sure many of you are fully well aware they've removed the peaks, or they intend to remove the peaks. I'm sure they have been removed by now. They've also removed it from the Brutalist building skin, all right? Are both of these potentially going to have issues? Because, number one, they are selling quite a lot. And number two, if the actual building skin isn't that popular... So, I should point this out. As I said, typically with the first Rust of the year, you'd expect like a lot of people playing, a lot of people to be buying the skins. But only these two seem to be selling quite a lot. So, with the armored door here, I do believe this will perform better compared to this. But I'm also concerned... suddenly, we're starting to see a lot of armoured doors being introduced. So basically, for nearly a whole year, didn't see one being added whatsoever. Then we got the kick drop. Then we got both of these, like 1 week after another, to my surprise. And then the very next rush door after Christmas, oh look, there's another one. Are we suddenly going to start seeing a lot of armoured door skins being accepted again? Because if that happens, like, how often do you get to a point we have an armoured door? And then how bothered are you to skin it? Feel free to comment below. But based on what I see here, and of course with all the armoured doors of the past, I have seen them suffer and go down real bad. Especially during the time when they're all being accepted. I remember back then, and I remember it wasn't very fun. So if we go through that whole situation again, I don't think you'll be retaining that $2.49 price. So I'm concerned. But, you know, if the building skin does work out nicely and people appreciate it, if we do see an acceptance every now and then, okay, maybe it might work out right then. But by default, I'm not feeling that at the moment, right? So we'll keep an eye on you, right? But armored door, I don't have that much confidence. And then the space station garage door. So everything in regards to this space station building skin applies to this as well, of course. It's a perfectly fine design, but a lot of people apparently have mistakenly assumed that the window, the quote-unquote window here, has transparency. No, it does not have transparency. Do you remember some time back, there was a garage door that was accepted like 3 months ago? Oh, God, how far back was it? So there you go, Armory garage door. That was accepted back in October. Yeah, October 16, 2025. And initially, people looked at that and thought, oh, wow, look at all that transparency. I'm going to go buy it. Well, that wasn't the case, was it? It just only had glow. So that went down in price, and it went down pretty bad for a while. At the moment, you might notice, oh, it's only down by 30%. Only down by 30%. Oh, what? So, yeah, that might be having the exact same issue. I worry for it, especially considering how many garage doors did we see in all of 2025? Oh, yeah, 39. So, yeah. Do you reckon we'll see an equal amount this year in 2026? Or do you reckon it might slow down this year, considering we're seeing more Skinnables being introduced? By the way, I still don't know what the January 2026 Skinnable is. I think they might just skip this month. We'll see. But yeah, that Space Station garage door. I might just stick with a lowball barge on that one, because I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we just end up going through the same typical year with lots of garage doors being accepted. That very likely will get lost in the shuffle. And just to quickly elaborate, about halfway through this year, when it was pretty obvious we were seeing a ridiculous amount of garage doors being accepted, every single garage door was down pretty bad. Now, at the moment, only a few are in the positive now. Yay! But the majority are still down pretty bad. Like, we just keep seeing tons upon tons upon tons of garage doors being accepted. So, yeah, I'm not feeling very confident. So, all right, cool. I got that one established. Hedge hates everything. Yippee. No, come on now. As I said, long term, some of these things do look very nice. And potentially even short term, if we do see some very quick collection continuations, it could be very nice as well. So keep an eye on the sales. It definitely will also have an impact. And also keep an eye on the player count, all right? It's phenomenal at the moment. It's post-Christmas. And keep an eye out tomorrow. I will have another video talking about my my fun time selling all my skins and getting that profit. Oh, by the way, you might notice my main account. Oh, why did it suddenly lose a bunch of funds, Hedge? What went wrong? I just went a little bit shopping, you know, having some fun. It's all good, you know, just say it's all good. So also, keep an eye out on the commits. I believe Face Punch, they're all back to work this Monday. So the next brand new DLC, the next big project they'll be working on after Naval Update, we'll probably be finding out what that is, all right? Boxes DLC. I believe that's the next one. Is it going to come out February, though? I don't know. We are aware, though, that they've made like 8 different boxes in a lead up to its, well, potential release. So keep an eye on all of that. Pretty please, all right? You don't want to potentially, well, end up with a bunch of storages and find out that, they're suddenly obsolete because their $15 DLC came out. But then again, it might be small boxes, and if that's the case, okay, I wouldn't be too upset. Like, do you remember the, all right, let's just suddenly get a little bit conspiratorial, you know? You know, we had the small boxes, right? The small props collection. Why did it suddenly stop? I'm kind of convinced it's because the boxes DLC is actually a small box collection. And I get the feeling the reason why they've done small boxes is to not make everybody annoyed. Because considering we've had like the Neon Storage Collection, the Scientific Storage Collection, Graffiti Storage Collection, of course recently the Senior Top Collection, yeah. If they made it a large box collection, a lot of people would be really upset. And hey, it might still be a large box collection. We don't know. So we'll see what becomes of that. Keep an eye out. Keep an eye on all the skins, of course. If you're questioning it, yes, every single skin was viewed positively. All of them had a very good upvote to downvote ratio, all right? But now we question what is going to be next. Can confirm some new skins are already being submitted, as you'll notice right here. But also, this was weird. The focused item of the month is the combat knife. Where was this week's combat knife? I don't know. But then again, as you'll notice here, this is a space-themed combat knife. I'm still convinced the next Rust store probably will be having more space station-themed skins. So, yet again, I'll point out, go take a look at this brand new batch of Rust Workshop skin submissions, which you can, of course, see in the Rust Workshop skin checks video. There was a lot of interesting space-themed skins, and none of these recent submissions were accepted in the most recent Rust, all right? No early picks this week. Next week, well, they won't be early picks, will they? So, all right. And I'm not joking. We do see some very interesting skins that could potentially be accepted, and we might see some immediate collection continuations, all right? Although considering what we also saw being accepted, probably not that one. But then again, we might see like a double door. Sheet metal double door, pretty please. Maybe. We'll see, right? We'll see. A lot of interesting combat knives, but which one will be accepted? Will we even see them being accepted? That's a good shout. So they've all been produced, they've all been supplied. Face Punch must pick. So yeah, cool. Right then, so that's pretty much everything. Thank you very much for watching the video, and keep an eye out for the post-Christmas videos, of course. And once again, please do consider voting for what you consider to be the Ruskin of the Year for 2025. Thank you very much. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.